Borneo Island, house to Sarawak, Sabah, Brunei and Kalimantan. One of the uniqueness in Borneo is the water settlement area, or locally known as Kampung Air. The uniqueness of this Kampung Air is the houses seems to be floating above the water is enough to put it in a class of its own. Even though the houses were built above the water, it's still considered a property, a home to its owner, a home to its resident, and a home to the community. It creates the sense of belonging to the place, socially, emotionally, and physically. This includes having the clear ownership and rights to the property. While all the villages in water settlement area own their houses, unfortunately, they do not have formal land ownership and property rights of the space over which their houses. Hi, I'm Dr. Farah Zaini from University Malaysia Sarawak. I will share with you the metrics of land tenure and property rights specifically for water settlement area. Before we discuss further about the metrics of land tenure and property rights, let me share with you the characteristics of water settlement area. The first one, it can only be accessed via river or the waterways. The second one, all the houses in the water settlement area and other facilities were built totally above the water. Alongside the houses, there are also retail shops, mosques, and schools. In water settlement area, they have a pedestrian walkway to connect each other physical spaces. And in terms of the social connection, they have a very strong relationship in the community. In highlighting the land tenure and property rights, Article 13, Federal Constitution stated on the rights to property, where no person shall be deprived of property save in accordance with law, meaning to say, each and every property owner is protected by the law. The water settlement area in Sarawak, located in the northern part of Sarawak, it resides mostly by Malay or Malay-Brunei ethnic group. Based on our previous study in Kampung Air in northern part of Sarawak, 100% of land tenure and property rights in the water settlement area are informal and should be formalized. More than 80% of the community wanted a formal property ownership documentation and transparency of land tenure and property right to protect the rights to their property. According to Courtney and others, 2017, the absence of formal recognition to their land tenure and property rights can contribute to political instability, population displacement, food insecurity, and environmental destruction, significantly preventing successful implementation of development programs. In this context, the community who live in the water settlement area are vulnerable because their land tenure is not legally recognized. If this formal land tenure is absent in this area, the issue of land title insecurity may arise. The ambiguous land policies, insecurity of tenure, lack of clear rights, and lack of coordination regarding land use will have an effect on the environment and natural resources. Thus, the uncertainty regarding land ownership, property rights, and documentation in the water settlement area will not result in a system of good governance and land administration. We need to understand that a good land governance aims to protect property rights of individuals by introducing the principles such as transparency. So, how to tackle these issues? The metrics of land tenure property rights for water settlement area, or in short, the metrics of LTPR, were derived to serve as a tool for defining and recognizing the LTPR for water settlement area. Here is the matrix of LTPR. It highlighted two main components. The first one, constraints and challenges, which consists of resource conflict, insecure land tenure and property rights, access to land and natural resources, and the last one is the poor performing land markets. It also has the LTPR interventions from the perspectives of community and governance. Under the community are the first level, which is awareness and empowerment, and the second level, conflict and dispute resolution. While under the governance level is the third one, legal and regulatory framework, and the fourth one is the land administration and governance. You may wonder how this matrix works. The results of our study shows that there are 6 main challenges of LTPR in water settlement area. It consists of the first one, informal land tenure, property right is not legally recognized, the absence of market information value, missing or informal cadastral info, ambiguous land ownership for second generation and above, and the last one is the informal documentation on land tenure and property rights. Let's say we highlight the last challenge, which is on the informal documentation on land tenure. So we cross-check with the matrix. It will fall under the category of challenge, the resource conflict, insecure land tenure and property rights, and the third category, which is the poor performing land markets. There are 4 levels of intervention that can be done to address those challenges. Via this study, we managed to validate the first level of intervention, which is awareness and empowerment under the community level. So what we do was we empowered the community to understand their land tenure and property rights via community mapping participation. This effort then we translate into a map for their references. In line with SDG 5, gender equality, and SDG 10, reduced inequalities, the matrix of LTPR serves as a support system to community at the water settlement area by improving the formal recognition of land tenure and property rights. And due to its location, community who resides at the water settlement area also vulnerable to the climate change, such as high tide and storms. Thus, by recognizing their LTPR, they can protect their property rights in the case of destruction to their property. The matrix of LTPR for water settlement area contribute in land administration of Sarawak. It assists in highlighted challenges and issues on LTPR and match the intervention whether in community level or the governance level. Through this, the community can strengthen their rights and acknowledging their ownership. How the matrix can give impact to the community. Land tenure determines who can use land, for how long, and under what conditions. The good land tenure will lead to best practices of land use. The best practices of land use can help to protect or improve the environmental condition. The impacts can be divided into 3 perspectives. The first one, society. A clear and transparent LTPR will strengthen the community's right. The matrix also can empower the community on the importance of protecting the land via formalizing the LTPR for water settlement area. Second, from economy perspective, the matrix can contribute to improve the land ownership and market value for land ownership of second generation and above, also to improve the information of their property value. Last but not least, the impact can be for the state government. The matrix can be used to recommend changes to the strategy and action taken by the government agencies and communities to improve the land governance in the water settlement area. As highlighted by Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 17, everyone has the right to own property. With that, thank you.